This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Agin Erev Shabbos Rabbi. Today is Yud Gimel Teves, the Yahrtzeit of the Tzadik of Ra'anana. So you're probably wondering, what do I have with the Tzadik of Ra'anana? So if you don't know, the Tzadik of Ra'anana at some point in time was in the city of Sachachav, and he was a chavrusa of my great-grandfather, who was the Rav of Sachachav, and my grandfather, blessed memory, corresponded with him for many, many years. I have many, many dozens of letters from the Tzadik Ra'anana. So I'll tell you, Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman was not one to tell over Sipurei Moifes, but he would say many times that he heard from Eidim Ne'amanim that the Tzadik Ra'anana, when he was asked a question, he would say, please wait till when I'm a Sandak, and I will ask Eliyahu Hanavi. So the Tzadik Ra'anana had Gilui Eliyahu, and Rabbi Aaron Leib said he doesn't know why this Tzadik was Zoicha to that, because we don't know of people in the last 100 years that had regular Gilui Eliyahu, but it could be because of his great Hasmada, and also he lived Mamish, Bedachkos, he lived in less than a trailer home. Mamish, he lived in utter poverty. In one of the letters he wrote to my grandfather, he asked him to send him money because he couldn't afford to buy a pair of tzitzis. If you look at his letters, he would write on the envelope because even the paper was too expensive. If you want to get this sheet, you could subscribe and get the Chedushim of the Tzadik Ra'anana each week, or you could print it out from our site, rabbidg.com. I want to share with you a few new ideas that we didn't speak out in past years. Number one, a very interesting thing. The Chida asks in the Midbar Kedemos, he brings in the name of Mahari Ze'evi. Now, actually this name has meaning to me because we were just at the kever of Rabbi Avram Azulai. Now the kever of Rabbi Avram Azulai we were at was Rabbi Avram Azulai III. But the Chida's great-great-grandfather was Rabbi Avram Azulai II. Rabbi Avram Azulai II had very prestigious son-in-laws. One of them was Mahari Ze'evi, who the Chida quotes over here, who wonders, what good was it that Yaakov made Yosef swear that he would bury him in Canaan, but you're not mechuyav. The Avos did not keep the Torah outside of Eretz Yisrael. Yaakov married two sisters. So very nice. Yaakov makes Yosef swear. So Yosef swears. But Yosef's not bound by the Torah. It's not in Eretz Yisrael. Even Yaakov didn't keep the Torah in Chutz Haaretz. So why would Yosef be bound by that? So one simple answer you could say is that even if the Avos did not keep the Torah outside of Eretz Yisrael, but not swearing falsely is one of the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Noach. So you say, no, it's not. If you look in the Hakdama to Shas, written by Rabbeinu Nisim Goin says any mitzvah which is a davar sichli, any mitzvah which is logical, goyim are chayivin. So one of the logical mitzvahs is don't swear falsely. So that perhaps would be something that Yosef was bound by. However, the Ben Ashri brings the answer of the Chida that even though the Avos did not keep the Torah in Chutz Haaretz, Yosef HaTzadik did, because Yosef knew he would die in Mitzrayim. So when's he going to keep the Torah? So the Chida is mechadesh that even though Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov did not keep the Torah outside of Eretz Yisrael, Yosef HaTzadik did. Says the Tzadik Ra'anana. By the way, Tzadik Ra'anana says anyone who says over his Divrei Torah in his name, he will pray for you and bail you out of any tzara, bazeh uvaba. He says it's Muchruch Yosef kept the Torah in Chutz Haaretz. Why? Because we know Bereshis Rabbah, Utavayach Tevach V'Hachein, that Yosef, the Medrash says, prepared for Shabbos and kept the Dikduke Shchita. So we see Yosef was different. He kept the Torah out of Eretz Yisrael. And the Tzadik Ra'anana says, B'chlal, it's not a question to begin with. Why? Because why Chazal tell us Then why did Yosef choose for them to live in Goshen? Because Paroi, when he took Sarah, he gave them the land of Goshen, and Goshen was considered like Eretz Yisrael. So Yosef is not swearing to Yaakov in Mitzrayim, he's swearing to him in Goshen. Goshen's like Eretz Yisrael. In Eretz Yisrael, Yosef has to keep the Torah, so he was taka bound by the Shvuah. Fine. Now, this is an unbelievable gematria. Very simple, very great discovery. Yaakov Avinu says, Ha Elokim, Haroya Oisi, Me Oidi, Ad Hayoim Hazeh. God who guided me, Me Oidi, since I was born, until this day. So Tzaddik Ra'anana quotes the question of the Ezer Eliyahu. What does Me Oidi mean? I mean, Yaakov Avinu was supported by his parents when he was young. He brings an amazing gematria. Me'oidi is gematria 130. Hazeh is 17. We know Yaakov Avinu lived 147 years. 130 were Ma'at V'roim. 17 were Toiv. Says Tzaddik Ra'anana. The first 130 years Yaakov Avinu was Masakein. The 130 years that the Gemara in Eruvin says that Adam HaRishon, when he was Paresh from Chava, so he produced Shedim and Lilin. So to be Masakin that, Yaakov lived 130 years of Ra'im, Ma'at V'Ra'im. And he rectified that. And the only reason he was able to rectify that is through the Siyata D'Shmaya that Hashem gave him the Kayach to rectify those 130 years. Ad Hayoim Hazeh, and then he lived an additional 17 years that are called Hazeh, the 17 years that he lived in Mitzrayim. By the way, the Medrash compares the last 17 years that Yaakov Avinu lived in Mitzrayim to the last 17 years of the life of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. It says, Vayichi Yaakov v'Eretz Mitzrayim Sheva Esrei Shana. Says the Medrash, V'hainu Vayichyu Rebbe B'tzipori Sheva Esrei Shana. Question is, what's the comparison between the 17 years of the life of Yaakov Avinu and Rebbe? The answer, the Megala Mukos says, is Yaakov Avinu was the Gilgal, Rebbe, was the Gilgal of Yaakov Avinu. That's why Rebbe is called Yehuda Hanasi. Hanasi is Hanitzutz Shel Yaakov Avinu. Hanasi, Hanitzutz Shel Yaakov Avinu. And that's why Yaakov Avinu, he was Kadosh. The first bracha of Shemona Esrei, Magen Avram, is Avram Avinu. The second one, Mechaye Amisim, is Yitzchak, when Yitzchak was revived. The third one, Ata Kadosh, is Yaakov. Therefore, Rebbe is called Rabbeinu HaKadosh. And therefore, since Yaakov Avinu is the midah of Tiferes, Avraham is Chesed, Yitzchak is Din, Yaakov is Tiferes. Therefore, Rebbe says, Rebbe Omer, Eza hi derech yeshara sheyaver laya adam kol shehi Tiferes la'oiseha v'tiferes la'min ha'adam. Okay, we have this dispute between Yaakov and Yosef. Yaakov says, no, Vayemoin, I know, Yadati b'ni Yadati, I know he's the Bechar. Of course he knows he's the Bechar. He's been living in Egypt for 17 years. You don't think Yaakov knew he was the Bechar? What exactly the machlokes? Yosef thought that Yaakov thought someone else was the Bechar. What exactly is this dispute? Tzadik Ra'anana brings that Yaakov Avinu, as Rashi cites, when he looked at Menashe, he saw that from Menashe would come Yeravam. He saw that from Ephraim would come Yeravam and Achav. So Yaakov Avinu wanted to put his right hand. The right hand is the hand with which Rebbeinu Shem gave the Torah. Miminoi eish das lamai. So he puts his right hand on Ephraim to be mashpia on Ephraim, a great shefa of Torah. And in fact, Chazal tell us that the Torah of Yeravam lo haya bahem shum doifi. There was never Torah like the Torah of Yeravam. Where did Yeravam get such great Torah from? Says Tzaddik Ra'anana, when Yaakov put his right hand on Ephraim, it's because he saw Yeravam would come out. So Yaakov wanted to influence Yeravam L'Toiv. So he influenced Yeravam with a great influence and hashba of Torah. But Yosef said, Tata, don't do that. Then if he's going to have so much Torah, he's going to lead all of Klal Yisrael astray, because people are going to think he's a great Talmud Chacham. Even great people, the Gemara in Sanhedrin says, Achia Hashiloini made a mistake, and he went after Yeravam because of his great Torah. So they're not arguing who's the Bechar. We know who's the Bechar. Everyone knows Menashe is the Bechar. The question is, they're arguing in Ruach HaKodesh. We know from Ephraim is going to become Yeravam. So Yaakov thought he should put the right hand on Ephraim to influence Ephraim with a hashpah of Torah. And Yosef said, no, now you're going to lead him astray. And Yaakov says back, no. What's revealed to me is not revealed to you. The Medrash says, Madach Dvarim, that was not revealed to you, is revealed to me. Whatever is revealed to you is definitely revealed to me. What Yaakov Avinu is saying is, I know more than you. Ultimately, the Torah of Yeravam made it, that Chazal say, Yeravam and all of his followers ended up ba'olam haba. So even though Yosef was afraid that this hashpah of Torah would allow Yeravam to lead others off, Yaakov Avinu counter-argued that ultimately would bring them to Olam Haba. One last thought from the Tzadik of Ra'anana. Yaakov Avinu says, Ve'es shakai v'yivaracheka, Perek Mem Tes Pasuk Chaf Hei. Yaakov Avinu gave the brothers blessing for material success and bounty and shefa. But as we know that when somebody has resources, it could bring to arrogance. It could be oisher, shamor levalav l'ra'asai, v'ram levavecha v'shachachtas Hashem. Therefore, Yaakov used the Shem Kadosh Shakai, Shin Daled Yud. Why? Shin Daled Yud stands for the three great humble people. They were Shmuel Haramasi, as the Gemara says in Brachas Chavches, David, Anoich Dazosh, and Yaakov Avinu. They're all called Katan. All three were called Katan. So Yaakov gave the bracha, Ve'es Shakai Vivarcheka. With all the material success I'm blessing you with, it should come along with Shakai, with the midah of humility, Shmuel, David, and Yaakov Avinu. Says the Tzaddik Ra'anana, the Soifei Tevois of Shmuel, Yaakov, and David is Levad. And therefore, to them alone, Eretz Yisrael was given. Okay, you could take a look at some of these other Divrei Torah from the Tzaddik of Ra'anana. I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbos. Bracha v'atzlacha. Matzah Shabbos will be a live streaming event as an introduction to Sefer Shemais. Stay tuned for details. I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbos. Bracha v'atzlacha. Kol tov. Baruch tiyah.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.